it's really a deep honor. I didn't get to meet Phil Dailey, but in reading a little bit about him and his background and his work, it's very impressive. I mean, being a military veteran, and as difficult as that must have been, and then to his road to becoming a paralegal afterward, and being able in a rural area in New York State to have the kind of impact that he had, and the hotline that he was really able to use effectively to help other veterans and clients. I think he's a great example, and I really am touched to receive this award. And given what I've learned about him and his example, it's really it's something that his accomplishments are something that everybody can be proud of. Our main office is located right in the middle of the largest, I would say, township on Long Island called the town of Hempstead. And there are a tremendous number of low-income people in the surrounding community. So we get to, on a daily basis, whether they're coming in regarding a housing issue or a consumer debt issue, or as in my case, a Social Security issue, we're here. We're right in the middle of it. So, and we also are exposed to a variety of legal issues that people come in and present with. Um, so I think it's offered a great opportunity for people who are interning to get a real smorgasbord of legal experience. And all they would need to do is just decide, okay, what areas do I most want to pursue potentially after law school? Interning here gives them an opportunity to clarify that. Well, I specialize in Social Security law, and in that role, I represent clients at Social Security hearings. So my role is to prepare the hearings just as an attorney would do, and also prepare written legal arguments, and even do so on appeal should the clients not be found disabled at the initial level after the hearing. So it's a very demanding job, and I do enjoy it very much. And one of the things about it also is that it has enabled me and others to collaborate with each other. I have an attorney who I work with very closely and who works with me very closely. We kind of co-counsel on each other's cases. But there are other attorneys in the office who also do Social Security work. And we get to collaborate also because there's an atmosphere of, okay, let's have an opportunity to talk about each other's cases, brainstorm, things of that nature. And in doing so, that really has not only increased camaraderie, but we've helped each other in terms of how to approach certain issues that come up in our cases. So that has been, for me, one of the best aspects of doing this kind of work in this particular field. When I first began school, I began school at a special school that dealt with the needs of people with disabilities. In my case, it was cerebral palsy. And students there really had or were encouraged to think about, oh, oh, despite the fact that you have a disability, what contribution can you make? to the world, to other people. And for me, it took a long time to develop that. I didn't really start thinking more about that until after I was able to transition to my home high school and then at Colgate University. And it was after Colgate University, I said, well, I began to think, I think teaching would be a great field that I would like to do. And then I had become fascinated with law in high school, particularly books about the Brown case and how that came about, and what Thurgood Marshall's role was in that particular case. That really inspired me, and that is when I started getting interested in law as a potential field for me. And another reason why this work has been important to me is because during my school years, I had a very severe stutter to the point where I didn't even communicate in class. I could have if I'd wanted to, but it was just too scary. And it also was with me over college. But when I first got an opportunity to work here in this particular field, I was concerned. But in having to deal with the types of problems that people had on a daily basis when they would come in, I started assisting mentally ill clients in 1991 with their legal needs. And it was like a triage unit. I had no time to think about, okay, well, how am I looking to people? How are they viewing me? I I, I just had to help these clients do whatever work I had to do to get it done. And it was through that kind of immersion that I eventually was able to get beyond my self-consciousness, and which in turn helped me to get some control over the stutter. And now it's to the point where I'm very confident as a speaker. And so going to hearings and representing clients, it's not really that big a deal. It's just now a matter of preparation. I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to be able to speak effectively. So I really have this work to thank for that, because it's really made the biggest impact on me in that regard. I would first of all just like to thank those who nominated me for this award. It's I really deeply appreciate that. And I just want to say again how it's 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 difficult to for people to remain in this work for as long as I have. But one of the things that has enabled me to do so is that all the people who I've come into contact with, they've as much as I hear that I've helped them, I want them to know that they've helped to also rejuvenate me year after year so that I can keep learning and I can continue to just it's not a one-way street, definitely. In many instances, there's still a lack of knowledge that we are out there and that we exist. People still are confused, thinking that, oh, well, we know that in criminal matters, a person can be appointed an attorney if they can't afford one. And but they don't realize that the same is not true for civil matters, like what in the matters that we are involved in. So they think, oh, well, since it's not a criminal matter, I'm just going to have to suck it up and try to do the best I can on my own. So I think our work and our offices have a lot to do, and they realize how important it is to continue being a presence as much as possible in the community so that people know that we're there. And I think one of the other main reasons that this work is important to society is because many segments of the population that we assist, they're misunderstood. I just don't think that people have a good opinion of low-income people. People's value as individuals are still kind of measured by how much money they have. And I think that is unfortunate. I think that like anybody, the people who we assist want to have a good life, want to be able to do as best they can for themselves and their children and their families. And from that standpoint, they're just like everyone else. So, but I think there are still divisions in terms of how our clients are viewed. And I really think it's important that we do what we can to try to highlight that, okay, yes, our clients may be low income, but their aspirations are pretty much the same as that of those who are not. And I think that's work that we're going to continue to be doing, I'm sure. I would say just first of all, great accomplishment. This is a great acknowledgement of the work that you have done and hopefully will continue to do, and that it's an inspiration to those around you and those who will come after you. So I would just encourage everybody to just continue doing what it is that you do. Keep up the great work. Continue to be curious. Continue to be positive. Continue to be open. And the future will continue to look positive.